Hello and welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, or welcome back to another live stream. Yes, I'm live 2 days in a row. Who would have thought it, right? Make sure to smash a like as you're coming in, and subscribe if you are new and you're jumping in. West Ham news is finally, it's coming into play. Well, I don't know why it's always on a Tuesday. That West Ham news always comes into play a lot on Monday. But yeah, we've finally got a bit of news. We've got a bit to get into, guys. We've got a bit to get into. All these bombers, to say the least, by multiple journalists. I don't even like saying the word bomber because I think it's cringe. But there are a few, and I forgot to add. One of them, the main story headline to my bookmarks, because I'm trying to do all these things through my bookmarks. But obviously, striker targets. We were literally talking about striker targets yesterday, guys. And obviously, there is one that we definitely need to talk about. Let me just get that one up quick. Yeah, right here. All right, sharing my screen right now. Give me a sec. Get involved in the chat as well to share your opinion. John Duran, everybody. It's been reported by Fabrizio Romano that West Ham have already submitted more than one bid for John Duran. Obviously, firstly reported by ex-West Ham employee. Understand last proposal currently worth 35 million plus 10% sell-on clause. Negotiations underway. Personal terms already agreed with Duran. Now, personal terms is already agreed. We seem to be getting the personal terms agreed very quick. Pretty much everyone we've tried to sign, we've agreed personal terms very quick, excluding the weird Brazilian centre-back Fabrizio Bruno. Of course, apparently this could be done quite soon, according to people online. And there's no smoke without fire. Now, I've talked about John Duran before. I've talked about John Duran with people. Obviously, he was linked with Chelsea. Doesn't seem to be, and they don't seem to be in a race anymore. For whatever reason, I think they're trying to. I don't know whether it's Samu or Morion, whatever the fuck his name is. They're going for, but we seem to have the same striker targets. These two and Jonathan David, same striker targets. But obviously, Jonathan David and Ivan Toney are at their respective international competitions. But then again, so is this guy. He's with Colombia, so we seem to like him. We seem to like John Duran. But that's the thing as well. Like when it comes to John Duran, he hasn't played as much as Ollie Watkins, of course, because Ollie Watkins is Ollie Watkins. Like Emery seems to really get the best out of him. I remember when John Duran first signed for Aston Villa as well. There was already reports of him and Unai Emery already falling out. There was rumours of that already. I don't know whether it was true, but since he signed for Aston Villa, he has showed glimpses and showed moments of like his shooting ability and stuff. Now, I've expressed on Twitter publicly and privately to people that I'm not exactly happy with this. I think we're buying into potential more than we're buying into something that we already know of. Obviously, credit where it's due. We're probably going to get this done, maybe this week or next week. So we're getting it done really quick, and we're trying to get people done for pre-season and stuff. But then again, he's probably going to join us right at the end of pre-season and stuff because of the international stuff. Then we're trying to get signings done early around the July time. So credit to Steiner and the recruitment team and everyone for that. It's not exactly the target that I want. I'm not like raging angry about it, but I'm just not too sure. I'm not too sure because he is someone that can show glimpses, show moments, and obviously the standout performance that everyone will talk about would be the Liverpool game, where I'm pretty sure Aston Villa and Liverpool drew 3-3 at Villa Park. It was around the end of the season. It was one of them games where it was very random and like obviously back and forth and stuff. And John Duran definitely shine in that. I'm pretty sure he didn't start. He came on as a super sub, I'm pretty sure. Obviously, they're going to refer to his goal against Crystal Palace as well. Beautiful strike. He can definitely strike a ball. He can absolutely smack it. And the thing is, when he does smack a ball, it looks like he's just absolutely swung his foot right at the ball, but it actually ends up going to like top corner, hitting the bar and going in, hitting the top corner and going in, etc., etc., etc. So he can definitely finish. The thing is, I don't want to be in a situation again where our new signing of striker is underperforming and we don't give him a chance in the first season. We then go to Antonio and our alternatives, and maybe Danny Ings, who will stay. Maybe we'll have 3 strikers. And then we are always relying on Antonio again. Now, if this guy does sign, I'm not going to heap pressure on him instantly. What I'm going to do is give him a season. The reason why I give him a season, because even though this guy's already in the Prem already and is very used to how the Prem is. He hasn't played consistently in the Prem. Um, he's not a regular starter, so I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to give him a chance, and it's important for us to get these striker targets right because being a striker at West Ham is hell. It's absolute hell, and it's been hell since '90s. We could say. Big up Wissim as always, a regular now. Hey, Mikes, this side could be interesting. At 20 years, his best years are in front of him, but is he too raw? He's definitely raw. Definitely raw. The thing is, with the coach that we have now, I'll just give it you might as well give it a go, I guess, if he wants him and if the recruitment team want him. And I'm just starting to trust more of the direction that we're going in with these kind of signings now that we actually somewhat have a plan rather than previous West Ham teams and stuff. So I'm not too angry about it. I'm not really annoyed about it, but it's just a bit I get why at the same time some of you would probably want this over Ivan Toney because he's younger, but I feel like we're buying into potential more. I want to get back into Europe. I'm not sure whether this is the signings to get us back into Europe, but you never know. This guy could prove me wrong. But I've always said that we needed a striker target that is like our Ollie Watkins, our Alexander Isak, where the guy is the main guy of the system when the team are at their best, and they can get us to the 15 goals. They can get 15 goals at the club, and they'll take us into European places. Is John Duran that guy? I don't think so yet. I think that's the thing. We're going to take a couple years, aren't we? But then again, we have the experience around these kind of young players that can help them integrate a lot more. So at the same time, it's not that bad, is it? The thing is, 35 million and 40 million is fucking excessive, but we are buying into potential. We are buying into potential. I need to remind myself that. But I'm not going to fully upheave this signing and put this signing in high regard straight away. I can't. So yeah, to answer your question, we are buying a player whose best years are in front of him, and he is too raw. But the thing is, he can only get better, you'd think, with the right coaching. So you never know. And will he do well in a 4-3-3 with one man up front? Maybe. But the thing is his back to goal work that good? Because I would say at Villa you're more running in behind. At West Ham United, your back to goal is going to be coming to a lot more in play, especially under Lopetegui. Not even just under the previous manager, but under Lopetegui, there will be at times where his back will be to goal, and a young striker working on their back to goal. Yeah, it's long, man. It's long, but that's the thing. Antonio is there to help him with him being an experienced player, almost like the guy to learn from almost. But John Duran's probably already a better finisher. Personally, would like Jonathan David or Tony, but do they want European Champions League footy? Now, that's the thing with Jonathan David. I think clubs that are in Europe are going to want him. So I think that's why we're not, trying to completely fight off other clubs to get Jonathan David. With Ivan Toney, everyone that's higher than us has deterred their interest. So I think if we're not getting him, unless he goes to a Tottenham, which they've dropped their interest as well, they seem to be more interested in Calvert-Lewin. Then he's probably going to have to stay at Brentford and just see what he does on a free. And I think then the clubs will come swarming in to try and get him on a free due to his age and stuff. But the stocks for Ivan Toney have gone down low just because of not only the whole betting thing, that he had to come in straight away and just try and settle in again, try and resettle in from the January onwards, and because he didn't impress as much. I mean, none of the team in Brentford did. There's a lot of context to why Ivan Toney did do well at Brentford. But that's why his stocks have dropped so low as well. So a lot of clubs have deterred their interest. So that's why you don't see Chelsea or Arsenal interested anymore. But Arsenal dropped their interest a long time ago. Arsenal don't even know what they want to do in the window. Their signing Calafiori is not really their main area of where they should be going for in terms of targets. It's a good signing, don't get me wrong, but I would have thought midfielder and striker and left wing. But with Arsenal as well, it seems that their striker interest dropped a long time ago. Oh, fuck, my stream is lagging again. But that's the thing with Arsenal as well. Fuck knows what's going on with them. We're not exactly competing with Arsenal when it comes to Ivan Toney anymore because they've dropped their interest and they for some reason trust Kai Havertz up front. I know he did well last season. By the way, I'm sorry if the stream is lagging. I thought my streaming was fine for now, but it seems my internet seems to be lagging again. So I'm gonna have to probably restart my internet for future streams. But hopefully you guys can hear me again. But they seem to be trusting Kai Havertz up front as their main sort of target, main source of goals. And I don't think that's going to work again. Kai Havertz can certainly play a part. He's proved it. He's not great though in front of goal, I will say, and he's only limited to a certain amount of goals that you can score. But back to this John Duran signing, I think, yeah, sell-on clause makes sense. Aston Villa must be laughing almost that they're actually even going to get 35 million for him, or 40 million potentially, because it doesn't seem to be. That I'm assuming we're going to have another proposal. Apparently, like this deal could happen though, just because the fact that John Duran would like to leave Villa and he doesn't really like Emery and stuff, or Emery doesn't like him. I'm not too sure why the signing was done in the first place. But this guy was actually Danny Ings' replacement at Aston Villa. Good afternoon, Mike. Big up, George. Hope you're well. But yeah, what do you guys think of John Duran at West Ham? You welcome in this signing? Is it because of, as Wasim put in the chat, his best years are in front of him, and we have an old squad already, and maybe we need to inject a bit of youth in our team? I have always said that we do need to buy younger players because we have the right squad to buy younger players. We discussed this yesterday as well. We have a pretty much old enough squad to circle younger players around them. Let me just stop my screen for a sec. And if you guys want to talk more about John Duran, leave your questions and queries in the comments and your opinions. But we do have some other transfer news to get into. I think he has potential. Yeah, he definitely has potential. That's for sure. Just interested to see how far that potential could go. Obviously, that was 3 hours ago. It's a bit of a random time. Then again, it was 1 in the afternoon or whatever, whenever the news was dropped. But obviously, we kind of knew this upcoming news I'm about to share already. Again, firstly, exclusively reported by ex-West Ham employee, but reported by Sam C, who seems to be reliable, apparently, according to people in the comments and the replies. He actually works for the United Stand, who are owned by Mark Goldbridge, who has a lot of bad takes, especially to do with West Ham. But exclusive, it's not an exclusive, I don't think, but maybe it's an exclusive, the fact that we're going to bid for him. West Ham will make a first bid for Wan-Bissaka this week, a source tells me. Well, I think we kind of knew that we were interested in Wan-Bissaka. It was just whether we were actually going to do business with Manchester United. I think this is a case of telling Southampton that, we've got other targets as well. So if you want to be annoying about the negotiations with Kyle Walker-Peters and stuff, we've got other targets to go for. That seems to be the sort of angle we're going for. Wan-Bissaka is not great at crossing. He's not great going forward. Lopetegui likes attacking fullbacks, likes fullbacks that can hug the touchline. Not sure this guy is the best suited for that. That's why Kyle Walker-Peters is my main target. However, Wan-Bissaka is probably the best at 1v1 defending when it comes to just right backs in general. When it comes to fullbacks in general, he's probably the best. But the thing is, the reason why he hasn't worked out at Man United is because he doesn't have the balance of being that good defensively and that good going forward. I believe that if you want to play Wan-Bissaka in a team, you're going to have to switch it up slightly more tactically. I don't think having Wan-Bissaka going forward a lot, bombing on a lot of the time, hugging the touchline, trying to put crosses in and stuff, or even trying to play out for the press, I don't think that's going to work with Wan-Bissaka. I don't think this is going to be a good signing. This is the thing, guys. We're going to be complaining about him in the future about his crossing is awful and all of that. Well, is it an upgrade of Ben Johnson? Quite significantly, yes. Significantly. But I've complained about Ben Johnson's crossing before. So we're just getting someone out who isn't a great crosser with someone else who isn't a great crosser either. That's a problem for me. What do you guys think of Wan-Bissaka? Would you take Wan-Bissaka at West Ham? And it's okay to say no. Just because he's a guy from Man United doesn't mean we're being too arrogant saying no to Wan-Bissaka. We're not. Football is system-based now. It's not as black and white as to say this guy is good enough for the club because he plays for a club that's higher up in the league, technically. And Man United are not even that higher up in the league. The Man United players at Man United are not that good. They're not that good for a reason. Like, look at them in the table. Same with their manager. They may be moving like a different club now with Branthwaite and De Ligt and Lenny Yoro and all these players, but they've still got Erik Ten Hag. They've still got Erik Ten Hag. And you'll see in a month's time with my Premier League predictions what I think of Manchester United, whether I think they'll be doing well. However, I don't think this guy's the right player for Man United. A right player for West Ham United. Let's say our back four is going to be Wan-Bissaka, Emerson, Kilman, and Mavropanos. I don't think it's a bad back four, but it's only really that left side that really suits him. I haven't seen enough of him to make up my mind. Fair enough. The thing is with Wan-Bissaka as well, like, if I was to pull up a comp of Wan-Bissaka, it's going to show you a lot of tackles, which is fair enough because you're a defender. You should be able to defend quite well. And it's going to show you a lot of him playing out the press quite well. And he does do it at moments, but he's also been a pressing trigger for other teams. And if he does sign for West Ham, you're going to see that as well. Listen, again, it's another signing, a bit like John Duran, where I look at it and I'm like, I'm not going to be raging over it. I just don't think it suits the system. And also, you guys got 1 year left, so anything more than 25 million, I'm looking sideways. I'm looking sideways. Thing is, yes, we can afford to overpay, but why would we overpay? Now, Walker Peters wants to come to West Ham. I'm not sure whether Wan-Bissaka wants to come to West Ham. He may want to stay at Man United. Or may want to have a new deal, but the new ownership might be moving different. And also, Ten Hag might not have him in his plans. Diogo Dalot seems to be the main guy at right back, rightly so. He, apart from the start of the season, he had in general quite a good season last season. So he seems to be first choice. Now, we've been interested in Wan-Bissaka for a long time. It seems we're like a lot of these targets, apart from Guilherme, would have still been signed under the Moyes regime. It's just the difference is we're actually getting it done in July. Now, the difference is if Moyes was still here, we were going after these targets, I would still be upset. But the problem is we would have waited until August and probably missed out on a lot of these targets anyway. I don't think we're going to get Wan-Bissaka because Man United are very hard to do business with. But the thing is, they don't really have too much of the... They don't really hold the high end of the scale for this because the guy's got 1 year left, just like Walker Peters. They're in the same situation where they both got 1 year left. So there's not really much they can stand on when it comes to this, guys. There's not really much where they can stand on it. Again, as I said, great 1v1 defender, but he's not great going forward. And as a modern day right back, you got to have a bit of both. You got to have both. Like, it's the truth. That's why Kyle Walker Peters would be good enough. He's not world class, but Kyle Walker Peters is good enough. More than good enough to play Lopetegui's system. Way more than good enough. But yeah, as I said, obviously Darmash Chef has reported John Duran's thing. Obviously giving credit to the first call being ex-West Ham employee. We're obviously going after Wan-Bissaka as well. Apparently, John Duran's obviously the primary target up front. And obviously Walker Peters was the main target at right back. But Walker Peters, the reason why the deal's so difficult is the obvious, guys. Who do Southampton want at West Ham? Flynn Downs and Danny Ings. And Danny Ings doesn't want to go there. Flynn Downs is happy either way, apparently. He doesn't really care. I think he'd rather be a starter at Southampton than a squad player because he wants game time. But I think he's not going to moan about it either way because he wants the chance to make it at his boyhood club. However, he has a great relationship with Russell Martin and they're promoted now, which is very annoying, the fact that they got promoted. Very annoying. I think he wouldn't mind staying with them in the Championship anyway because Southampton would have felt like, okay, we didn't get promoted this season. We would have got promoted next season if they didn't win the playoffs. But yeah, we don't really have much to stand on when it comes to this deal. We can't extort Southampton to get Kyle Walker Peters without giving them Flynn Downs, unfortunately, because they are not going after any other number 6. I've not seen Southampton linked to another number 6. They want Flynn Downs. The only other 6 they have is Shea Charles, and I'm pretty sure he's not ready for the Premier League level. I haven't seen too much of Shea Charles when I've watched Southampton, but I'd imagine that he's not ready. So that's why they really want Flynn Downs. The pre-season's coming up. Flynn Downs is with us. Okay, but get your comments in, get your opinions in. I'll respond to every comment that isn't abusive. What type of system will we be playing next season? 4-3-3, 3-4-3, or 4-2-3-1? I think it's going to be a balance of 4-3-3 and 4-2-3-1. Now, my thing is as well, it's going to be like what people need to learn in some 4-3-3 systems, which is kind of the modern way of playing anyway. But in some 4-3-3 systems, they have 1-6, 1-8, and 1-10. Now, people will be like, well, isn't that similar to a 4-2-3-1? It can be, but it's not going to be structured like that on paper when you see it on the pitch. So that's why I believe, like, we're going to play, obviously, another 10 in the midfield. Like, Kudus and Paquetá will play in the midfield 3, maybe. I don't want to see either of them on the left. I don't want to shoehorn any of them off the left. If you're going to try and fit all 3 in, you play both Paquetá and Kudus in the middle with Alvarez behind them and Bone on the right. Because Paquetá has the physicality and work rate to actually cover as an extra midfielder. And just to let Paquetá and Kudus play in the midfield. Don't put any of them on the left. None of them need to play off the left. None of them are left-sided players. They're all left-footed. Doesn't mean they're left-sided players. But it's mainly going to be 4-3-3. Because that's where he likes to play. Now, I think he might switch to a time at 4-2-3-1. I think the only reason that he might play a 3 at the back, maybe to match up with the opposition and stuff like that, like Moyes did, because he's slightly pragmatic, even though he wants to play football. I don't think we're going to play 3 at the back as much. I only think we're going to play 3 at the back maybe if we have an injury crisis, or maybe he wants to switch it up. Maybe it'll be a 3 in possession rather than an out 3 at the back. And it'll be different how Moyes plays it. Maybe we could loan Flynn down to Southampton next season and decide whether to keep him. I don't think it was a good idea. I think they want him on a permanent deal. The reason why we can't loan him is because we'd have to buy another number 6 again, and we'd be left quite short on the number 6 options at West Ham. So if Edson Alvarez does get injured, then it'll be Ward-Prowse or Souček back at the 6. That's the thing now. Alvarez is injured, and Flynn Downs is the only other option left. So we need to either keep both or sell them and make money off it, because otherwise it just drags on, and then we'll be here again with the saga next season. Like, even if Southampton were to get him on loan this season, they're going to come back in for him on a transfer next season anyway. So we can't. I don't think a loan's on the cards, and I don't think the club wants to loan him either. We're going to get into other headlines to do with West Ham. This one's just funny. We're not really going to discuss this one this much. Jared Bowen is the strong preference for the right attacking role at Newcastle. With confidence within the club, a deal is possible. No, it's not. By the way, don't panic, by the way, guys. It's not possible. Just Newcastle, just being Newcastle. And achievable for far less than 100 million mooted about. Yeah, if you want Jared Bowen, you're going to have to pay, like, literally your whole club. Like, give us your whole club. Give us your stadium. Give us your population. Give us your part of the city. Everything you own. Give us all of your players, even the shit ones. Give us your stadium as well. Fuck it. What else should we get? Give us your best Gregs as well. Give us your best Gregs, because Northerners have better Gregs. Your best, like, sausage rolls and shit. What else should they give? If they want Jared Bowen, what else should they give? They should give. We need your owners as well. We'll take your owners as well. I'm trying to think what else that would be fair. Because we're not going to sell Jared Bowen. The reason why I'm talking like this, Jared Bowen's not going anywhere. Jared Bowen's not going to move to Newcastle. If he's going to move, which he won't move, by the way, it would be to a top 4 team. He's not going to move from West Ham to Newcastle. I will bet my house on it. And I've said this before when Bowen was linked to Newcastle before. If Bowen goes to Newcastle, I will shave my head on stream. I will shave my head. You've heard it here first. Well, you haven't heard it here first. If you watched my video 2 months ago, you would have heard it here first. Bowen's not going to Newcastle. So these people are running out of stuff to write. Simple as that. Simple as that. Okay. Speaking of strikers as well, let's move on to this. Danny Ings has spoken out. Big up to Hammers Hub once again. Post all the quotes, like players and managers and stuff. Does Danny Ings have a point to prove at West Ham next season? Will he have a part to play? I really do want to be successful at West Ham. I definitely haven't shown my best yet, but hopefully this season I can give back to the fans I can give back to the fans for sticking by me. I want to help the team, and I want to show the fans that I do really care and what I can really do and are capable of. At best, he's probably going to be a third choice if he does stay. Now, Southampton would like him as the main man, and he'd do well for Southampton. And I think, regardless, Southampton and Ipswich will stay up next season. Just my opinion. I think they'll both stay up. I think Leicester are gone. Apparently, Leicester will get a points deduction anyway, and they hired Steve Cooper. They're fucked. But Southampton are going to stay up anyway, but Danny Ings would be a big step for them against it for him to go back. It makes sense, but he doesn't want to move because of the wages. In fact, West Ham even said they'll do something with the wages to get rid of Danny Ings. But Lopetegui seems to like him as well. Now, 3 strikers makes sense. And that also means that Jared Bowen won't play up front next season. Thank God for that. People always say to me about, but he scored the most goals that he's ever scored up front. Most of the goals he scored were still coming off the right-hand side, even though he was playing up front. I think he's only there to keep his wages up. He's not a mercenary or anything, Danny Ings, but why would you move at 30 years old if you've got 125k a week? It doesn't really make any sense, and I don't blame him for wanting to say it as well. And I do think he thinks that he has unfinished business at the club. I do. I don't think we've gone through this Danny Ings many times as a signing. When we signed him, I don't think he was. I don't think he should have been signed. Don't think he ever fit. So it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. So if Danny Ings wants to prove himself, he's going to have to impress in pre-season. He's going to have to wait on game time as well. I don't think he's going to get much game time. I think Duran and Antonio will play ahead of him. And Duran seems to be following Danny Ings around. The literal Grim Reaper. Antonio ain't leaving. Antonio is probably going to retire here or go on a free next season. But yeah, obviously football transfers are reported to John Duran deal and stuff as well. Just trying to see what else I've missed. If I've missed anything, link it in the chat what tweets you want me to put up to do with West Ham. Okay, next also by another tweet by Hammers Hub as well. This is what Lopetegui said about Edson Alvarez. Edson will be a key player for us. I always said he is one of my favorite type of players. His technical and physical skills make him so well balanced. He's a very passionate player too, but we might have to tone that down sometimes. And I was talking about his importance and working on his disciplinary record. Now, what Edson Alvarez really needs to work on is how to control his major aggression that he likes to add to his game. It's a good part of the game, but it's also going to get him yellow carded and potentially sent off. That's the thing we have with Flynn Downs as well. I guess Flynn Downs is prone to a yellow card, that's for sure. Them two will play a lot of games, in my opinion, even though we've got 1 game a week. I believe them two will both play quite a lot of games. But I believe we are going to see the best of the Alvarez Ward-Prowse partnership. And I do believe that. Like a lot of players, he was hard done by Moyes. Yep, Ings was done hard done by Moyes. He was like, oh, he's got a good goal scoring record in the Premier League, let's just sign him. Don't have a plan for him. It was, he has a good goal scoring record, so sign him. And they blame the strikers for doing everything. I remember that game when we lost 2-0 to Tottenham. We played a 5-3-2. We played Antonio Bowen up front. The wing-backs didn't give the ball to the strikers. No one gave the ball to the strikers. And we played a midfield 3 of Downs, Rice and Souček. No creator. We didn't have Paquetá. I'm pretty sure Fordyce was on the bench. Ben Roma was on the bench. If not, then I'm wrong. And the ball wasn't given to the strikers at all. Now, the point I'm trying to get to is Moyes was blaming the strikers after the game. In that game where we lost 2-0. Strikers don't get service in that Moyes system. Antonio feeds off scraps. That's why he suited it so much. Scamacca and Ings didn't suit the system. Scamacca and Ings actually would have suited each other playing 2 up front, funny enough. But that never happened. I'm pretty sure that only happened in pre-season against Tottenham and the Australian team. And it worked. Literally worked. But Scamacca left and Danny Ings stayed. Didn't see any of Antonio and Ings up front either. That's why Ings did well dropping into the number 10. I Don't think Lopetegui's going to play two up front either, so I don't see how Danny Ings would fit at West Ham. But we've had Sid Alvarez and Flynn Downs as well. They both got quite bad disciplinary records as well, but that's because of the amount of physicality that goes into being a ball-winning midfielder. It's just that they do like to be maybe aggressive. Aggressive is fine, but maybe too reckless with their aggression. Like controlled aggression is good. Like you punch it into someone when you're getting the ball. But it's when you miss the ball where it becomes a big problem. That's for sure. But that's always been a problem. That's always going to be a problem. But it's also going to be a problem if you leave them isolated and you're bad at attacking. Now, the reason why I think it won't be as much of a problem is because if we're coached well in a possession-based side, then Edson Alvarez is not going to be left as exposed, or Flynn Downs, whoever's playing in the number 6 for now. Neither of them are going to be left exposed. So I don't think either of them are going to get that many yellow cards as much as they usually would. Now, the problem is when we played under Moyes, and I have to compare. Listen, I don't want to talk about Moyes anyway, but I have to compare it to how it previously was at West Ham. Otherwise, I can't get my points across with what I'm trying to say. But with David Moyes' system, obviously, we're sitting back, we're soaking up a lot of pressure, we're leaving ourselves open on the counter a lot of times. So that's when Edson Alvarez and Flynn Downs is going to take you out and get yellow cards. Because we're soaking up pressure. We don't have as much as the ball. And Flynn Downs barely played anyway. So here's what I think. The only positive with Wan-Bissaka is that we don't have to focus on getting a number 6 midfielder. Because it won't be a trade deal with Walker Peters and Flynn Downs. However, Wan-Bissaka doesn't fit the system. And Kyle Walker Peters is way better as a Lopetegui right back. And I don't believe Wan-Bissaka can improve his attacking ability at like 26 or whatever he is. I don't believe his crossing is going to get any better. He had Jesus Navas at Sevilla, Lopetegui. He was a winger. He likes attacking fullbacks. Now, Wan-Bissaka would do well against teams that are going to have more possession than us. Like, he made Mitoma look shit after people hyped Mitoma up. He made Doku look dog shit. He makes wingers look shit. But when he goes forward, and you're the striker, you're already sighing when he has the ball. Because you know the cross isn't reaching you. You know the cross isn't coming anywhere near you. That's the truth. I do hear what you're saying, but you freeze up Bowen. Maybe. But Lopetegui likes attacking fullbacks. So I don't see how this is going to fit. Wan-Bissaka and Bowen may be able to work well together, but I would say it would help if Bowen actually had a competent right back that could actually help him down the right hand side. He had to put up with Sufel for how long? Like, only worked throughout the lockdown season. After that, when he got his thigh injury, Sufel wasn't the same. Or the groin injury, sorry, when he got kneed by Nemanja Matic. He wasn't the same since. Sufel will show you glimpses in games, but Bowen was isolated a lot of the time. Isolated down the right hand side a lot. And I would say the same, as much as I did like Benrahma and Fornals down the left, Cresswell didn't exactly help them either. But also that's because of the system that Moyes was playing as well. So it is also system-based. So I do hear every perspective, but I just don't see how Wan-Bissaka is going to fit. Now, we're probably going to do a video one of these days on how Lopetegui is probably going to set up West Ham. On how he's going to play players in each position, hypothetically, and what the squad will be looking at the moment I do the video or do the stream. I might do it tomorrow, if we don't get any news tomorrow. But apparently, according to people, we might be getting a striker target done. Think he's a clear improvement on what we have. For sure, I agree with that. That would be a rock back for. Wan-Bissaka can carry the ball, but his end product does need work. Bro, like, that's the thing. But at the point of 26 years old, can you at that point significantly work on your end products? Can your end products go that high up? Because the guy was doing attacking training individually, like last season at Man United. like putting crosses in. I think it was actually 2 seasons ago under Ten Hag, but Ten Hag was coming in. Listen, Ten Hag's shit, but he's played under multiple managers as well, like Solskjaer and shit. Played under 2 managers because Ralph Rangnick was an interim. So listen, maybe Lopetegui can get the best out of him. I don't think the deal is going to happen purely because Man United are hard enough to do business with. They're like, think about when we tried to get Lingard back. Think about when we tried to get McTominay and Maguire. I know it wasn't just Man United, it was players as well, but the prices they were asking were ridiculous. But Moyes wanted Maguire and McTominay so much. Oh, God. Thank God we didn't get them. But with Bissaka, good one side. As you said, Damien, good at carrying the ball. But when he gets right to the end and manages to put the cross in, the cross is you'll be lucky if the cross goes in. It's not like he's some fullback that can absolutely strike a ball either. They're always wary of selling to us. And as Wasim said, would Man United do business? The thing is, they would do business with us, but they just make it really hard for us and make us work twice as hard to get their player, no matter what. Like, no matter how it is. Big up Jimmy, man. Big up Jimmy. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. But it's not like when Bissaka is this right back that can, like, strike a ball really well either. Like, he doesn't have any main attacking attributes that I look at and I'm like, okay, he's really going to suit the system because of this. That's the thing as well. Like, we would probably do better in, like, against big 6 teams and, like, big away games. Like, for example, if we get Bissaka and we go to Aston Villa at home, which is the first game of the season, he's going to come up against who on the left? Like, probably Jacob Ramsey. Like, Jacob Ramsey, maybe. I forgot who else plays on the left for Villa. Maybe Alex Moreno sometimes plays left wing and left back. Like, he will lock them up. He will lock them up. He won't let them get past. Like, you saw it even at FA Cup final. He was willing to lock up Doku no matter how like many times Doku was trying to get past. It was a great battle, as you saw. I'm not disputing his defending. He's actually a world-class 1v1 defender, but he's not a world-class general right back, not a world-class general player. The phrase world-class gets put around a lot. Like, let's be honest. But that's the thing. Listen, if he does sign, I'm not going to, like, overly complain, but I'm putting it out there first. This guy's a Premier League experienced player. He's played in the Premier League year in, year out. Ever since 2017-18, I'm pretty sure the 17-18 season at Palace or 18-19 season. So I'm expecting more instant results than I am from a John Duran who's barely played as a regular starter in his career at Aston Villa. I would give him a first season, but I wouldn't give Bissaka. I'm expecting instant, a bit like if Ward-Prowse was actually playing his position last season. I would expect more from Ward-Prowse, even though I get the criticism of Ward-Prowse. We discussed this yesterday. Same thing again. Same thing if Danny Ings had service and I was judging Danny Ings on getting a lot of chances and not scoring them, I would judge him the same because he's a Premier League experienced player. Same way when Zuma came in, I expected instant results and he actually did very well for us, barring the injuries up until last season. So that is my general opinion on Wan-Bissaka. I get why people like Wan-Bissaka, but I'm choosing Walker-Peters over him because imagine us going forward with Walker-Peters and Emerson as the fullbacks, with whoever we sign the left wing, or whether it's Guilherme and Cornet, Bowen, Kudus, Paquetá going forward, or whoever it is, and whoever the striker is, maybe Duran Antonio. That is not bad at all. That is definitely at bare minimum a top 10 like players going forward, like in terms of a top 10 finish. And that you wouldn't bypass that making Europe, not necessarily its first season, but maybe the second season, the third season, whatever. Hopefully second season, not fucking first season. I mean, not third season. Jesus Christ, I'm not waiting that. Like, I don't exactly want to wait that long. I'm not exactly trying to be arrogant or anything. Think Duran just needs the minutes, to be honest. Given that main man responsibility, and he won't look back. And the thing is, Joe, to be fair, that's a good point. And also, he will have a point to prove as well, because he wasn't a main man at Aston Villa. So if he comes in and he's main man and he gets more game time than Antonio, there you go. There you go. He will play with a chip on his shoulder. And that's actually a good thing, because it's not like players need motivation to play on the football pitch. But what that will do is give them that extra edge. The fact that he has that erraticness to him is part of his game. Like, you can't really coach that out of him necessarily. Like, that's just naturally who he is. But I would be happy with that anyway. Like, I'll be happy with the way he would play. But it's just whether he's good enough to, be the main man, like maybe next season or whatever. But he's young, man. He's got best years of himself ahead of him. So I'll try my best to buy into the signing if he does join. We should be aiming to finish top 4 next season. The thing is with the top 4 ratio, we're not there yet. But with us having 1 game a week, you never fucking know. You never know. I don't think we're going to finish top 4. Probably don't think we're going to finish in Europe next season, if I'm being honest. But you never know with the top 4 race. The top 4 race is very wayward. I think we could have a chance of going on some Postecoglou run that he did last season with Tottenham, where not title race at all, nowhere near. But you're in the European spaces quite early on. But I think we have a natural dip just because people will figure us out. But I think they don't know what they're going to come up against when it comes to playing West Ham next season. Same with Chelsea, same with Liverpool, same with Brighton, etc. With the way they're setting up and stuff, and maybe even Leicester. Hi, Max. Will you be on Carefree Lewis and channel to mention Duran? Not sure what their opinion would be, but because I think the Chelsea fan base response had been mixed to Duran. I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether I'll be on this channel today. I don't know. If he invites me on the watch along again, I might be there. I might not. I don't know. But I'm bringing up Duran. I don't know. I don't think it's enough of a brag, Archangel. Chelsea's called down. Chelsea's interested to call down. I think they just have him on a short list. But I don't think they're going after him. They seem to be interested in that Atletico Madrid striker, but apparently the Atletico are not going to sell him anyway. They already rejected a bid from Chelsea, 40 million, and for us for 35. So I'm not sure about that. A winger, Duran and the winger, and Lopo gets it right and will be very strong. I agree. Needs attacking talent. I agree fully. Newcastle and Villa did. Why not West Ham? No, I agree. But I don't know. I'm a cautious guy. I'm quite cautiously optimistic. If I'm going to be optimistic, I'm quite naturally pessimistic. So I'm just trying to think realistic. A lot of listic words. Yeah, exactly. And I like know what they have. I've heard good things about the guy. I've never watched him. I didn't even know who he was before this transfer window. I'm being 100% honest. But they only bought him last year or 2 years ago, and they're going to keep him probably. So it is what it is when it comes to that. That's the thing. Like, I don't think Chelsea are going to hijack that. They love hijacking shit, but they're not going to hijack that. Unfortunately, maybe fortunately, I don't know. Depends on how good Duran becomes. But fuck knows, man. Duran could be like a talent that I've doubted, and because he becomes the main man, as you said, Damien, that he does really well for West Ham. He over exceeds expectations, and because of his age, we have to go and give him a chance for a season or two. And the thing is, I'm going to give him the first season. I'm not going to go in on him. I'm not going to have expectations of him the first season. I'm not. But the guy hasn't played enough. But it's also going to be hard for him because he's on international duty. When he comes back, he's going to be around the time where the Betway Cup happens. That will probably be the first game we see him where he's in the squad against Celta Vigo. I think it's Celta Vigo we're facing. That's going to be the first game. And then, straight away, Aston Villa, his former club, is the first game of the season at our ground. That's going to be the first game of the season. So you're probably going to see Antonio start. And then again, even Antonio's going to be back, probably Betway Cup, because he was with Jamaica in Copa America. So Danny Ings is going to be the main starter of pre-season. That worries me slightly, but in a new system, you never know. You never know with Danny Ings. I don't think Danny Ings is a bad player at all, but that's the only problem as well. We've got a lot of players coming from international duty, coming from Copa America, coming from the Euros and stuff. Not a lot, but players, a good core of it. Souček, Soufal, Paquetá, Bowen, Antonio, if we sign Duran. I said the Czech boys as well. So it's going to be a big core of the squad. But then again, everyone else is going to suffer with the same problem. It's not an excuse. I'm just putting out there in terms of Lopetegui trying to integrate the squad. Chelsea buying everyone at this point. Can I have a contact? Um, yeah, honestly, listen, like this is the first day I've gone through like Twitter and stuff, like not seen like Chelsea going after someone. They're active, to be fair. They're active. They're trying to get deals done, and to be fair, they back the managers. They sell well. Like, unfortunately, they do business quite well. But here's what it is. They've got youngsters to sell. They use their academy for profit. It is like it's smart, man. It's smart. Unfortunately, once again. But uh, obviously, as well, I wanted to talk about. I'm trying to see if I got it bookmarked. Trying to see if I got it bookmarked. Give me a sec. I don't know why I didn't bookmark it. But also, I've talked about before, guys, about Jaden Philogene and Jacob Greaves. Give me a sec. Obviously, I made a video on West Ham trying to raid whole city and us being interested. Oh my days. I've just seen some of the memes. Basically, as well, his agent has been twerking for everyone. His agent is basically a slut at this point. He's been twerking for Barcelona, twerking for Everton, twerking for Ipswich. But this is what Ornstein reported 5 hours ago. Let me get to your comment actually before I do that, Damien. I feel like Lopo looks very settled for a new manager. I think he backs himself. I feel like he's been well briefed by Staden. He reminds me of Moyes a bit, but less uptight. Yeah, he's very. I do see similarities in him and Moyes, but in a good way. But I think it will look very different on the pitch, of course. Yeah, I think he's very determined to do a good job in the Premier League, and the fact that he's here means we're going to spend because that's why he left Wolves. It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Ipswich have £18 million deal with Hull to sign Jaden Philogene. 5-year contract in place. 22 currently set to pick Ipswich plus do medical this week. Obviously, Aston Villa have some matching rights buyback release clause thing until Wednesday and ready to activate, but they will respect players' wish. Apparently, Palace and Everton are also keen now if Palace replace Elise with Jaden Philogene. And they've got Kamada already. They have recruited well. And I think Palace might get Europe next season because they got that Spanish centre-back and he's already there to replace Mark Gurhey. And they've got Chris Richards as well, who isn't a bad player. And then the three at the back could do well. They're going to keep Joaquim Anderson. He'll have a better season. I think Decore is still injured, but he'll come back and be good. They've got Jefferson Lerma, Adam Wharton, of course. You're about to see Adam Wharton have an absolute belter of a season. Now, if he was to go to Palace, it'll be fucking worrying. It'll be worrying. I'll tell you that for sure. Because they could overtake us. And Glasner's done well. But then again, Lopetegui could have the same effect that Glasner's having. So, you never know. Losing Elise is a big one for Palace, though. Unreal player. Yes, it is. He is an unreal player. I like Elise a lot. I think he'll do well at Palace and all the best to him. But they've had to deal with the absence of Elise quite a lot due to his injuries anyway. But the difference is they've got players to come in now. Obviously, I don't like Jordan Ayew, for example, but even he could come in and do a job. But let's say they sign Jaden Philogene in the 2 number 10/winger positions behind the striker. They've got Eze, and if they sign Philogene, Ayew and Kamada. Dichi Kamada's a fucking good player. What a player. Very underrated. And that's a player we've actually watched because he played against us. Obviously, if Everton get him as well, that would be unreal. That'll be an unreal set. Everton are doing quick business for a team that are in financial fair play issues. But yeah, obviously, I would have loved Jaden Philogene to be a target for West Ham that West Ham would to get over the line. Like, I would love it if West Ham got Jaden Philogene over the line. I've watched this guy at Hull City. The guy's ready for the Premier League. I can't believe Villa let him go. But they do have matching rights. The guy cutting in on his right foot would be absolutely perfect for West Ham. I hear it, bro. I don't know how to pronounce that fucking first name. Big up you though. I'm just gonna call you Eurotekken, just for now. Big up Eurotekken. Bissaka would be a great right back for you. Listen, I hear why people say that, but I just don't think he fits the system. He's a great right back though in terms of like 1v1 defending. Listen, you know as well, bro. We've talked about call me Deck. Okay, all right. I'll call you Deck. Big up, yeah, David. We discussed this yesterday about right foot is cutting in. Palace could look scary. They do, man. And Glasner's a great appointment. As soon as Glasner came in, um, I just thought, yeah, they've got something there. But I didn't think the trajectory would be that quick. But Palace will be in a European battle next season, and I think even Palace fans, they don't have expectations, but they're excited. They're excited. I don't want them to be excited. I don't want Palace to do well because I hate their fan base with a passion. But listen, they've got a lot of good players. I hate the fact that I like their players so much. They've got a good team, and they've recruited very well. Dougie Freeman, once again, that guy deserves a fucking knighthood, bro. I will call you Deck. And yes, a silly trademark that, yeah, fair enough, man. It's actually a decent name, but it sounds fucking Dutch. It sounds Dutch. Are you Dutch or German or anything? If you, I feel if you get Tony and Bissaka, you can get top 6, don't you? Maybe. I think we'd be in a battle. I don't think we're not going to get Ivan Tony though, because we're pretty much set to get John Duran. But if we had Ivan Tony and Wan-Bissaka, I'd be like, yes, we're getting Europe. We're getting Europe. The thing is, I don't want to be too confident because whenever I get confident about this club, they let me down, and I get let down when every time I get excited. But that's the thing. Like, I'm cautiously optimistic. I think this is a 2-season thing. I think next season will be the main part. Oh, okay. English brought up, but I played Tekken for the country. You played Tekken? What? The game Tekken? And if you were good, you were the chief. Wait, am I? But the game Tekken, or is it a different Tekken? Is that you played the game Tekken for the country? How? What the fuck? What, fair fucking play. I mean, I can't. I'm literally the worst at games. I'm the worst gamer ever. I'm the worst person that supposedly used to play games a lot. Like that was actually like playing games. I am shit at games. I will Google you, my friend. I'm gonna Google you after this stream because that's mad. Fair fucking play. Oh, you're 54-year-old OG gamer. Fair play, man. I rate that. To the highest level, man. That is fucking sick. That is sick. But yeah, Jaden Philogene, bro, as well. Like, imagine Bowen and Jaden Philogene as the attackers attacking the goal, cutting in, overlapping fullbacks, Walker Peters, Emerson. That's the dream. But life doesn't work like that, unfortunately. So we're probably not going to get Walker Peters. We're probably not going to get Jaden Philogene. Definitely not, because we're not even in the fucking list anymore. But is what it is. Is what it is. I'll get on to Jacob Greaves in a sec. Damien, big up Damien once again. People need to realize Duran is 20. Our fans best give him time like they would Earthy, etc. I think match-going fans will. Online fans won't, because online fans are fucking stupid. And that's of every club. Of every club. And yes, I am online as well, so technically you can put me in that stupid bracket. However, online fans never give anyone a chance. They called Skamaka shit. They called Haller shit. They called Paquetá shit. But Souček is the best player ever, and Sufal best right back ever. Cresswell is good because he's old man and he can be good for the youngsters. Apparently everyone is shit when it comes to us, but everyone that Moyes adored and was their favorite is the best player in the world. That's what online is like, mate. And yeah, listen, I'd give Earthy a chance. I'd give Duran a chance. I'd give youngsters a chance, man. Especially our club, man. We need to actually work on developing young players. Big up Deck once again. How's Julian in interviews? Is he coming across as happy with the business done and about to be done? You reckon? So he hasn't done an interview since the Max Kilman signing. So I'm not too sure, but he seems to be very bought into the project that Steiner has set him out to do with the club. So I think he seems quite happy right now. And I fucking hope so. He's only been in 3 months. Not even 3 months, a month. And he's been signed on for 2 months. So he better be happy. But I reckon he'll be happy with the business. They seem to be in contact pretty much every day, according to them, on interviews. So, yeah, it is what it is. But listen, guys, Ipswich are doing very good business. Very good. I'm actually going to post this by an Ipswich account. Yeah, we chatted last time. I think Gold has probably said X numbers. Gold? David Gold's dead. I think you mean Sullivan, bro. David Gold died, bro. I think you mean Sullivan, bro. But yeah, I know what you mean. Jacob Greaves, interest from West Ham, Wolves, Everton, Ipswich, chooses Ipswich. Jaden Philogene, interest from Barcelona, Everton, Ipswich, chooses Ipswich. Now, I don't think he chose Ipswich over Barcelona, but Barcelona didn't want to go in for him. Liam Delap, interest from Southampton to Ipswich. He did choose Ipswich over Southampton. No, was a oh right, okay, fair enough. I thought you mistake both of the Davids, bro, the Dildo brothers. But yeah, Ipswich are doing very good business, and they're going to stay up as well. And Jacob Greaves being one of them. We're doing this one in, one out thing as we discussed yesterday to do centre backs. And again, being here and Ged not being sold is a big reason why Jacob Greaves is not here at this club. That's a big problem, in my opinion. But I understand why the club are doing it, as I said yesterday, because Jacob Greaves would have been a great signing. I think he's bought in. He seems happy enough prior to the internationals coming back. Settled in very well, in my opinion. Yeah, from what I've seen, settled in very well. I still need to watch the videos that are on West Ham's YouTube channel. I just haven't had time. And I've just forgotten as well. I can't watch them on YouTube because copyright. Fuck off, Blank. West Ham don't have that pulled down. Is it the unknown manager? Fuck's sake. Blank, you're a fucking wind-up. We just seem to miss out on championship talent quite a lot. I don't like the trend of us missing out on championship talent. Ever since Abari Eze went from QPR to Palace, we have missed out on so many like championship talented players. It's so annoying. Like we missed out on Eze, so we got Ben Rama and said, listen, Ben Rama scored the penalty in the final, so fair play. But imagine Eze would have stayed. Imagine Eze if we signed him hypothetically. This is hypothetical, by the way. Imagine we signed Eze instead. Moyes would have still left this season. Lopetegui comes in, we still keep hold of Eze. We maybe would have had to sell him and then sell him on. Maybe Paquetá would have never joined, and maybe there's a whole effect that I'm missing. But we missed out on Eze. We missed out on. Well, we didn't miss out on Alex Scott, but we were interested. It was the same. Like we were interested in Alex Scott. Yeah, Blank, you're a fucking wind up. We missed out on Alex Scott. Alex Scott went to Bournemouth. Listen, trust me. Like, I'm so happy we could. So imagine we had both though. Imagine we had both. Eze and Kudus. Like that would have been the Eze and Elise of the thing. Like, Eze and Kudus. Imagine. I love Kudus, man. He's gonna have such a good season. But yeah, Alex Scott went to Bournemouth. I would have loved Alex Scott. Even Max. I would have taken Max Aarons. I would have taken Max Aarons from last year, but we had two right backs. Lot prefers wingers that could go out or in, not just inside. I wouldn't be surprised if you go in for Neto off us again. That would really relegate us. I forgot you. The first time you joined was when I was talking about Kilman, wasn't it? I don't think we're going to get Neto off you. I think you're going to charge higher for Neto. We're not even interested. So he's not even been on the list. I don't think we see it as realistic. I think you guys will keep Neto this season. But I don't think you're going to get relegated because I think the league is too shit for you to get relegated. I do, but what I want to know though, why the fuck is Gary O'Neill going to a back four? He should stick to the surely he should stick to the variation he does, the back four, the back three, etc., where he can switch it up. If he's going to a back four, I do worry you a little bit. You see Neto and Ait-Nouri both being bought. I see Ait-Nouri go to Liverpool. I see that happening. I don't see Neto. Who's interested in Neto right now? That's like credible source. Do you know? It's like, is it like Tottenham or something? Like Tottenham would make sense. I would love Neto at the club. Don't get me wrong. Despite his injury proneness, I think his quality is worth it. I think he's that good. This is the post Mendes merry-go-round. Okay. Because I know you guys are struggling for fight. Like technically, you need to sell to buy, but you've actually already recruited quite smart, from what I've seen. Notice he ain't been up our ground poster Nunes to City BS. Oh, okay. Because obviously that caused a lot of stuff throughout your fan base as well. The way Nunes left, of course, he threw his toys out the pram. You guys used that to your advantage to then beat Manchester City, and then he ended up getting taken off at halftime. That was quite funny. I respect Wolves fans for creating such a hostile atmosphere against Man City for that. But I didn't know that. I didn't know about all of the stuff that's going on at Wolves. but I feel like you guys will be fine from an outsider. Um, Foster owns 25.5 fucking. Okay, didn't know that. It's all hush hush. Fair enough. Fair enough. But Jacob Greaves seems to be going to Ipswich. That's a very good signing. Listen, they signed Ben Johnson, scrub, but Jacob Greaves, Philogene, Liam Delap. I don't know if Liam Delap is ready for the Premier League, but Philogene and Greaves will be very good. Very good signings. Get online for the match reactions. What do you mean? What match reactions? But yeah, this is the boardroom BS. Fair enough. I didn't know all of that was going on at Wolves. I didn't know all of that was going on. But I want to know what like whole City fans must be gutted. They lost Rosinha, and then they've lost Greaves and Philogene. Read a comment right above that. Oh, sorry. I think you're chatting about grow next season, mate. I think this is where the channel goes up because I'm streaming more. I think so. Now that 8 people are in here, I'll be saying this for the subscribers. All my match reactions next season are going to be live. I'm going to be live. All of them. They're not going to be pre-recorded unless I literally cannot do them, and it's like one of them awkward games where I have to come back home and it's in the middle of the night. That's the only time I cannot do a match reaction live. But most of the time, match reactions are going to be live because I do match reactions pre-recorded all the time, and I've been doing it for 2 years now. But I'm going to get you guys involved in the chat, and live seems to be the way. I do have a season ticket, Damien. People do love the vote post game. Post match vids is what I think will make it grow quickly. Yeah, that's the thing. I need to go live more often. Need to figure out how to switch it up thumbnail wise as well. And then we're gonna hit 500 subscribers this year, but I'm trying to hit it as quick as possible. I do have a season ticket as well. Like I have had the same season ticket since the 21-22 season. So I'm gonna be there again. So if you see me on the ground, come and say hi. I think he went there because he likes horses. He likes horses. Since when? Wait, that does. Oh, bro. Oh man, I forgot. Ipswich signed Amari Hutchinson as well. They made him a permanent deal. This is what Burnley should have been doing last season. Ipswich and Southampton, mark my words, will stay up next season. Ipswich, Leicester are down though. Leicester will be 20th. Put that in your prediction thing. Put a bet on it. And do anything with that. Ipswich are fucking gone, mate. I wanted to talk about this actually. What the fuck is his agent doing? What is his agent doing? Why is he doing this? What the fuck? Like, this is one of the typical pictures. There's just a random guy with a camera there. Like, oh, bro, can you just stand there? And I'll be on my phone, and we can post this out, leak it out to social media, like we've got a deal with Everton done. What the fuck is he doing? Someone tell me. This is bad agent work. This is terrible. Bro, what is he doing? He thinks the blue background will make his new coat stand out. He just wanted the Instagram picture. I hear it. This guy wants to put entrepreneur agent in his bio. That's the thing. That's what he wants to do. If Jaden Philogene is watching this stream, yeah, fire your agent. After you get your move, as soon as you get your move, you need to fire this guy. Because this man is making this is the kind of guy now who makes some sort of secret agent fee that you don't know about. Like, he's got something in the pipeline. He's got something in the works. Oh my days. Because he did this, guys. He did this in Barcelona, like with the Barcelona thing as well. Hold on, let me get this up, man. Bro, I'm trying to get a Barcelona picture. There it is. There it is. There it is. In my day, only your grandmother would wear them coats. No, facts, bro. Everyone wears them now. All of this, if he ends up at Ipswich and goes down, yeah, that would be got him from Fiverr. Filogini is a good talent, though. Yeah, he's a great talent. I think Ipswich are staying up. Surprised we ain't just gone and got that done. I think the problem is, as much as we think, like me and you, Damien, think left wing is a priority. I don't think they do. I think because they are happy with, like, they're not necessarily like delighted with the options, but it's like if we have like money to spend still, and we've got all the priority positions done, we're gonna get the left winger thing done. But this as well, he did the same. Oh, wait, let me scroll down a bit. He did the same thing. Big up to Total Barca for the tweet. Filigi's agent showed up to the Barcelona office unannounced. Began a photo shoot in the car park. I thought this was Marlon Harewood. At first, with the glasses and stuff. This is the glasses I always see Marlon Harewood wearing. Began a photo shoot in the car park and was eventually asked to leave by security. The name of the player, well, this is Jared Romero, so you never know if this is actually true. The name of the player is completely unknown by Barcelona directors. The thing is, they are actually interested in him. They're trying to get a loan to buy Ornstein and Fabrizio said. How come no one came in for those Coventry strikers? They look potential. Do you know what? They're not ready for the Prem yet. I think Haji Wright will be the next one to leave Coventry in the future, maybe. But I don't think they're ready for the Prem yet. Only if they're going to a side that's maybe a Leicester, maybe an Ipswich that maybe get them out of relegation. Like if you're talking about Haji Wright, I forgot the other guy. I don't think they're ready for the Prem. Not quite yet. Not yet, man. But they will. They will be. And I think Coventry, they've always got that thing in them where they play really well. They're actually quite hard to beat. But it's just the Championship is so unpredictable that they weren't anywhere near really the playoffs last season. I think they're going to get the playoffs again this season. I'm watching the Championship quite closely. I'm very excited to see that start again. But yeah, bro, the pictures of Filigi's agent at Barcelona's ground, at Everton's ground, yeah, backup punt. Yeah, I hear you. Like backup, that Haji Wright would do all right for now. But I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the thing. Like, Ipswich have done quite quick business, even though the whole Filigi stuff is a bit of a circus due to his agent. And I'm not sure Filigi would be happy with that either. But it's a great signing for whoever gets him. I don't know why Moyes is trending. Obviously, Ogbonna did his farewell video as well. I saw that yesterday. But yeah. Overall, I think we've done everything. I think we've talked about. If there's anything we haven't talked about, put it in the chat that you want me to talk about, or just link a tweet that has some news on it. Because I'm just trying to stream more often, guys. Any players catching eyes in the Euros? In terms of from a West Ham perspective, no. But it's the obvious ones, isn't it? It's like for Italy, there's obviously been Calafiori. He's probably going to Arsenal. Gakpo's done well for Netherlands. Obviously, he'll probably take that into Liverpool. Maybe he'll take that into England tomorrow. I'm trying to think players that put guys. Everyone in the chat, put players that you're liking in the Euros right now. How do you how do the fans feel so far with business, let alone next season? Positive. So I was surprised. So I made a video talking about Lopetegui fighting an uphill battle a week or two ago, and a lot of people commented on the video saying that they're feeling positive. Sorry that the lighting's gone down. It's getting dark. It's getting grayer outside in July. A lot of people commented on my video saying that they're feeling positive, but when I go on like Twitter and stuff, like the place of hell when it comes to talking about football, well, then again, Instagram and TikTok exist, and just social media in general. Everyone's either being a negative Nancy and feel like these signings, I'm not getting any dopamine from these signings because they were big Moyes, cocksucker, and now they hate Tim Steidem because they kicked out their manager. So then they're not happy. But the players that the players that um the fans that were already hopeful, like having Lopetegui in and stuff, um they're quite happy. They're quite happy and stuff like that. They're happy with Steiden and stuff. Like people like me, I'm just saying it for what it is. Like because I don't have ties to anyone, I just want to do best for West Ham. I don't do this whole because Moyes left. I'm super happy because I wanted Moyes gone. I'm super happy with everything. I'm not like that. I am not like that. However, I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm more of a pessimistic fan in general. I'm naturally quite pessimistic. I naturally don't get my hopes up. How do I see it? What the season? Don't know. If we get all the targets that we want, we may be charging for Europe again. If we was to go into this season with this squad right now, with these players, I think the highest we could get would be 8th, which is not a bad season or anything. But we do need to judge at the end of the window. Yeah, this is why I asked. I am getting 50-50 off my London mates when we chat. That's the thing. West Ham fans seem to be split a lot of the time. Like, obviously, you get split in every fan base when it comes to opinion, but when it comes to West Ham fans, they either argue a lot or they have split opinion. Also seemed to hinge on if Tony gets signed. Ivan Tony's not signing as much as I wanted him. Like, ideally, it would have wanted Ivan Tony, but I get not trying to pay that much for someone of that age. I get it. We're trying to sign for the future just because we have the average age of the squad already is quite high. So I'm trying to make sense of it, and I am making sense of it. Duran would be a good signing if well managed. If well managed, could be a 10 out of 10 signing. You never know. You never know. You never know. I have more trust in this coach than I did the previous coach and Pellegrini and Bilic and all these other coaches. 27 is high. 27 million. Wait, is he 27 years old? The thing that, well, no, you're saying 20. Yeah, age. Sorry, I don't know why I said 27 million. Well, for our squad, it is only because that we have average age of about 40 already. So, like, yeah, I think he is 27. He's 27 to 28. But they know what. But I think the problem is that even though I think Ivan Toney would be a great signing, 3 or 4 years you could get out of him. If you get Duran, they'll be like, because you could have potentially 10 years of him if he does well. But then again, someone would probably bid more for him in the window. Only thing as well is Duran, if Duran's fallout with Emery is as public as it actually is, will that also take a time with Lopetegui? I don't know. 4-5, 32 last year. 32 in his last year, and as you age, you could hang him for 30 mil. I think that's good money. Yeah, I do agree with you. You got a pen taker. Yeah, that's true. Elite pen taker, as we saw, and a hitman. I mean, I love Ivan Toney. I've wanted him for years, but we turned him down twice, apparently. Moyes would never go after talent like that. Put it like this: Duran is 20, Solanke is nearly 27. Yeah, the thing is as well, the things they're charging for Solanke as well, like, we would never be able to get him. We would we've been, again, it's another person that we've been interested in for about 2-3 years, but we're not getting him. I would love to see Duran succeed at West Ham. I think we all would, because listen, even if I don't want the guy in the club, like if it's Duran, if it's some random player, it could be the worst player ever. Even if I don't want them at the club, I want them to succeed at the club. But I always want players to succeed at the club. What I think will happen, not got a fucking clue if I'm being real. Has to be trusted though. Yeah, of course. We've been going for an hour 14. Unless you want, like, we have to move away from Moist tactic to set up. J-Lo will be different. Trust me. Oh yeah, of course. Be way different. If you watch the reaction to the James Lawrence Alcott video, we went through all the things together. So we went through all the tactics that Lopetegui was set up with, the kind of players he's going to set up with, how he showed the glimpses of that, Wolves and James Lawrence Alcott talks about that in the video. We reacted to it. So if you can, if you want to go back and watch that, you can, of course. So yeah, Lopetegui offers us an opportunity to attract more diverse talent, speak so many languages. Yes, he does as well, and also because he played at Real Madrid, managed at Real Madrid, managed at big clubs like Porto and Sevilla as well, and they know his CV. I think more players would want to play under a manager like him than they would a David Moyes, even though David Moyes is well respected in the football aspect, sort of thing. But players never came to West Ham because of David Moyes. Like, that's not a thing. That's not an insult to David Moyes. It's just you ain't got the juice like that. You ain't got it like that. But Lopetegui does. Lopetegui well and truly does. He's got it because he's been around the football world. That's just the way he is. And that's what he's done in, like, manager of Spain, manager of Real Madrid, manager of Porto, manager of Sevilla, manager of Wolves even. Yeah, his communication as well. And we're seeing small clips of his man management, how he believes in players, the kind of players he wants, the willingness to adapt to the player that he has, the willingness to get to the best out of the players he has. And listen, I was very listen, if you've been a subscriber of this channel for a while, you know I was against it at first, but I'm behind the guy. I'm behind it because the reason why I'm behind it is because it's Steiner's guy. Steiner believes in the guy, so I'm gonna believe in it. Pundits love Moyes, players hate him. There you go. I would say it's connections within the in crowd. Yep. That as well. I think it's both. It's both. He's obviously got connections because of his football experience, but because of his football experience, people want to go to West Ham because of him. I think both come in hand. And both make sense. They both make sense. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of Spanish players, like even like the Garcia guy, like he would have been fine coming to West Ham if we had Premier League, if we had Champions League football. But Leverkusen had Champions League football. Thank you, Wasim. Hit the likes, guys. I think we're on 5 likes or something like that. So there's 9 people in there. Just get it up to 9 if you can. If you haven't liked the video, just leave a like on it and subscribe. And share it to someone that isn't subscribed so we could get to 500 before the end of the year. Thank you for 350. I'm also, when this streaming thing becomes a bit bigger for me in this channel, I'm going to start modding people that are regulars. Obviously, I don't really have enough of an audience right now to start modding people where you can kick people out that are random, but we'll start modding people. So when the stuff gets bigger, and hopefully that will be in the coming 12 months, stick with me. Stick with me because you will be rewarded for being loyal. He'll want his Ruben Neves type though, that deep holding Pirlo type. Yep. That I remember on that James Lawrence Alcott video, he did address that as well. You want to buy or train someone for that role. Thing is, Alvarez ain't that type of player, but what he's going to do, like Alvarez is very good at passing in between the lines as well. Like, I think he'll be set up slightly different, and I think we'll be trying to look for a midfielder that will play next to Alvarez to make from that role. Kilman will be to Lopetegui like Rice was for Moyes. I can see that, I can actually see that. Obviously, apparently the captaincy is between Kilman and Bowen. I've heard rumours of Alvarez before, and obviously before Lopetegui came in, there was rumours of Ward-Prowse. Don't think Ward-Prowse is in the running anymore. As I said, I wouldn't mind if it was Kilman or Bowen, but ideally someone like Alvarez. I've gone through this before. But I do agree with the whole Kilman will be like, because Lopetegui clearly wanted him. That was his target. That was the main guy, and we got him done like that. And I'm happy with the Kilman signing. I have slight reservations, as I've said before, but yeah. Any news about Fofana? Now, according to Italian source, apparently AC Milan want him. We haven't got in for him. The thing is, we've always been linked, but we've not ever been strongly linked. I think we're going to miss out on him. I'll be real. Have to get the most out of Alvarez. Now, listen, Lopetegui likes Alvarez. So he's going to be a key guy. He's going to be one of the main guys within the spine of the team. If we're looking at Emerson, Alvarez, Paquetá, Kudus, Bowen, they'll be the main guys. And Areola in goal. In fact, hold my beer. What the odds? He signs Neves. No chance. He's in Saudi. We're not paying his wages. Alvarez captain and Kilman vice, or the other way around. Bowen will lead without the armband. That's what I'm thinking. Bowen's a leader by example type player. That's why I don't believe he's like vocal captain guy, but he takes a lot of responsibility. I don't think that's just why Lopetegui wanted Kilman, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah, Saudi gone cold. He might be leaving. Yeah, loads are leaving. Loads are leaving. But loads are also going. Like they were going to get that Theate guy and Pioli, but they changed the president stuff. But that's what happened in Saudi. Like with Saudi, it's not necessarily sustainable. It should only really be for players that either want a paycheck or want a paycheck at the end of their career. Bowen's fallen head over heels for the club. He's one of us. He sees himself as a fan. Yeah, he's really taken into the club and he's really like identified himself with the club. That's why it's stupid, all these Newcastle reports. That's why I was mocking Newcastle earlier in the stream about all of these reports. Because look at it. Look at it. Like we cannot be serious when we're talking about this kind of shit, man. About Bowen to Newcastle. You've got more chance of me going Newcastle, bro, than Bowen going Newcastle. Yeah, literally the captain without the armband. That's why you need leaders by example. That's why you don't make them the main captain. I have nothing but love for Neves. He did his contract and got the payday for his fam. Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Ruben Neves, top player, man. Never seemed like he'll throw his toys out the pram either and took the balls. He actually joined G's in the championship, I'm pretty sure. I remember him being a wonder kid at the time. Top pro and always was 100% for us, like Kilman. Respect both those dudes. I mean, the next West Ham Wolves game is going to be interesting. Lopetegui and Kilman. I mean, apart from the preseason game. Lopetegui and Kilman, Dawson, 50 mil in the champion. That's a fucking bargain. Jesus Christ. Like, fair play. Like Neves was a great player. Like, Neves should, I was saying Arsenal should have signed him. We will clap him, mate. Trust me. Will you clap Lopetegui? That's what. Do your fans like Lopetegui? I need to know your opinion on this because you're a Wolves fan, so you might as well give us a perspective. Because I think at the time, maybe not. Maybe because Gary O'Neill got the best idea squad. Some fans were a bit on him, but not that twat. Fair enough, man. The players, yes. Oh yeah, Kilman. Yeah, obviously with Kilman. But yeah, we're not signing any more of your players. Don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about us anymore. Maybe Tottenham with Neto. Maybe. I don't think he's actually linked to Tottenham, but I can see that happening. They need attackers. They need to refresh their whole attacking lineup because they can't go into next season with a Son at that age, a Werner, Richarlison, Kulusevski. It's not great. Man U and Neto better than Rashford, so it makes sense. They need a natural left. They do. They need Neto can play both sides, so he'd be their best winger. Ings needs to go. Lol. I think we tried to offer Ings and Cornet at one point, or one of the two for Kilman. I think that was the secret player swap. A lot of people speculated that it was Cornet, but that that was long. That's long. I think I'm gonna end it there. Unless any of you guys want me to talk about anything more, I can keep it. I can pretty much go. I can pretty much go until 6:30. If you guys want me to go more, but Antonio's like 48, and I'd sooner Wolves sign him over Ings. Antonio offers probably more than Ings. I'll be real, just because he has more to his chamber right now, and he can play in a one up front system. Ings can't. Ings will have to play 10 in the one up front system, or he has to play the 2 up front. But yeah, I don't think we're gonna give you Ings. And he'd probably be a bit too isolated in Gary O'Neill's system. I'll be real. I think Cunha's the perfect guy. Obviously, bro. Yeah, he has an engine and works. Respect that shizzle. Antonio is better than Ings in this modern game. Big up Scott. Big up Scott. And he definitely is better than definitely better than Ings. Like, that's the thing. Ings is a natural finisher. Ings is like a proper striker, but Antonio isn't a proper striker. Simple as that. He's just a bully. The thing is, every time we go into Europe, I love Antonio, by the way. Antonio is my favorite all-time West Ham player that I've watched because for what he's done for the club, and he's underrated as fuck. Antonio is still going to be an asset next season for facts. As long as we don't play week in week out, he will be an asset because not even due to his ability or the fact he's getting old, it's the fact that we put too much on him for him to carry us. I'm gonna throw up a comp if I can find one. Okay. All right. I haven't prepared this, so this might be playing volume. Okay. There's a comp of John Duran. Does anyone want to watch a John Duran comp? Put in the chat if you want me to react to a John Duran comp. I can't wait for him to come back. Same. That's the thing as well. He's going to take a while because of the whole... It's going to take longer for him to recover at this age. So, like, international duty, recovering, coming back to fully fit, stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Danny Ings starts the first game of the season. I'd tell him start the season from the bench if we signed Duran. Yeah. And Lopetegui likes him as well. Lopetegui likes him. So, like, he's gonna play a part, that's for sure. He's gonna play a part. I wouldn't mind seeing a John Duran comp. Okay. I'm gonna present my screen. Okay, this video is called Just How Good is John Duran? Obviously, I'm muting it because I don't know what music they're playing. I don't want to get copyrighted, even though I don't get paid from these videos anyway because I don't have enough subscribers for that. But this is what we're gonna get from John Duran. I'm sorry if it's laggy, but that's the way it is. Like, as you can see, like, it was that Liverpool game where he was striking the ball a lot. Like, this was the game. Like, you got the ball here, sort of on the inside right-hand side, and, like, those kind of finishes where he catches, like, the thing off guard. But also, like, he came on in the 2-up-front system. Will he be the same in a 1-up-front system? If Antonio is well managed this season and the recruitment is good, we could be on smoke. I agree, bro. I agree. He's a young Dalian Atkinson, so like him, it's unreal. I've not watched a Dalian. I don't know if they have a Dalian Atkinson comp, but I haven't watched him. I remember this game as well. He scores against big teams, by the way. Like, against teams where he'll have the ability to run in behind and we have more space. This is where he's going to thrive more often. So I can see why we would have tried to sign him under David Moyes as well. Duran, bang. Like, that was the finish I love. Like, the one against Palace. Chested it, bang. Ridiculous. Like, we can tell he can finish. And, maybe he is good enough to get more game time. So, I will support the signing. I mean, I was going to back the players anyway, but Jesus Christ, that fucking rattled the goal. It didn't even hit the net. Just get Duran done. Fair enough, Damien. Fair enough. Yeah, poachers Alpha as well. Like, we need someone who can be a poacher as well. That could, like, second chances like that. Just simple stuff. It's not. We're not asking for anything complicated. We're asking for simple things. You can drop him deeper to meet the outcoming balls like Skulls. He can finish and has a great first touch. Young as well. We're hearing a lot of good things. Listen, we're seeing a lot of good things, hearing a lot of good things, and maybe he is the guy. But obviously, good on second ball as well. Good presser as well. Playing him week in, week out. Maybe we're unleashing a beast. Would like to know from a Villa point of view as well. Like, an unbiased Villa point of view where they're not like, oh, well, he's not that good anyway, sort of thing. What fans are like. We do it as well. Bring Duran into that side and keep Antonio, Bone, and Kudus and its flames. Press is everything. I agree. Press is everything, especially in this. It's not even like pressing is not like a requirement, but it's like we could do so much more with the players we have by pressing. Like, we get so much more out of the players we actually have. That's Diaby, by the way. That was Musa Diaby. That was a Duran that did the turn. Duran was next to him. So the turns here, ability to strike with his right as well, not afraid to strike with weaker foot. Um, like listen, like a lot of this is too up front though. That I will say, but the wingers will be closer to the striker. Um, and to be fair, with these sort of attributes, he will fit the system. But as long as we don't give him with his back to goal, he'll be fine. Yeah, that's what I mentioned earlier about hold up play as well. But yeah, the thing is, you can't expect hold up play from 20-year-olds. You're talking about modern tactics. I'm wondering who will be the next Stoke Wimbledon to upset this new meta. It will happen, you know. It will happen. It will happen. Like football goes in cycles as well. Like it's gonna go back to the way it was at one point. It's not gonna evolve into anything that we haven't seen before. Funny enough, that is. I'm pretty sure that's Duran on none other than Max Kilman. That just happened there. I said they're willing to win the ball back high up the pitch is important under this new manager as well. Like he was on smoke this game, and obviously if he does have to track back and be in those positions where we are sitting deep, yeah, he did score though. uh, I think he'll do work well with that. Honestly, I'm actually seeing the vision low key with him working with like maybe a Gilherme if he plays on the left or a Cornet or a Bowen up front. I mean, not Bowen up front, Bowen on the right, Kudus behind him or on the right, you know. I get a notification on my phone and I keep thinking it's a West Ham news. Looks like he is inbound one of the best strikers we have been linked with this season. I mean, yeah, like listen, apart from David and Tony, he's probably the third best. Again, I haven't watched much of Jonathan David. I haven't watched anything of Jonathan David. I forgot that he wore the 22 and the 24 as well. Just some of these clips are in the Conference League, but I mean, he has every attribute that you kind of want in a young striker. To be fair, as I said with the Kilman signing, I'm happy with the Kilman signing. I'm also going to be cautious about that as well. But he looks like he'll work better against bigger teams. It's when teams that if teams are going to like, there's not going to be many teams that sit back against us because not many teams sit back anymore. I'm trying to think in the Premier League, apart from Leicester and at times Crystal Palace, there's not really many teams that sit back. There's actually a lot more space in the Premier League, like even more so. Oh yeah, he definitely fights. Definitely fights. You can see him. He looks like he's about to scrap anyone. All left-footed front four with Paquetá would be crazy. The thing is as well, like a front four, and again, I don't want if we're gonna play Paquetá, Kudus, and Bowen, I don't want one of them off the left. I'd rather two of them in the midfield than one of them off the left. And I know that sounds a lot, maybe too attacking, but I don't want to shoot. I'm not going to shoehorn one of them off the left. But yeah, all four left footers. It wouldn't be that dynamic. But luckily, these four left footers aren't one footed. Like none of them are one footed. Duran, Paquetá, Kudus, and Bowen, mad. Yeah, he ain't got a set piece though. he ain't won one. Not in this comp. I mean, he just won a ball in the air from that position. He likes to get up in the air. That's also an attribute I haven't really seen much of yet. I mean, there's a lot of comps of winning the ball high up in the air, to be fair. So they've clearly highlighted that for a reason. It would prefer to see Paquetá, CM, and Kudus Cam. Generally, guys, I think that's going to happen at times because I've pointed this out before. We've talked a lot about Ward-Prowse in the 8 and stuff like that. But I think Paquetá is going to be playing alongside Alvarez sometimes. He did that at Lyon as well. People forget he did that at Lyon sometimes. He did that at Lyon. Played alongside, I think it was Kakare at sometimes. I would prefer, yeah. I think I would prefer that as well. I think that's the end of the comp. It is. Who plays left wing? That's the thing. If we don't sign a left winger, it will still be Gilherme and Cornet. But there'll be even more left footers. Yes, it will be. But those are the options that we have. But yeah. If we signed Jaden Philogene, it would have given us a bit more dynamism. Dynamism's the right word. Matt said Neto. Neto's not coming West Ham, I promise you. But it will still be left footers, but Jota Silva. Are we still like he's definitely still on the shortlist? I always see us like linked with him, but I think left wing. Honestly, I generally think left wing is one of the positions that we're interested in doing. But we want to get all of the priority positions first. He's like Bowen on the right wing with intensity. Fair enough. I've never watched him. Mike, how do you think we line up? Okay, let's say, and we get Duran, and it ends. The transfer window ends today. Obviously, ideally, we wouldn't want that. I think Lopetegui would line up first with Kudus, Paquetá, Bowen behind Duran on the left. With Kudus on the left, Paquetá, Bowen, Duran up front, or Antonio at first. I think later in situations I think Ward-Prowse will play 8 and Alvarez 6, but there's going to be times where Paquetá drops deeper and Kudus is playing in a 10. So Paquetá playing alongside Alvarez with Kudus as well in the midfield. The reason why it's not as bad as people think is, well, not only will we be able to keep the ball a lot better, but we won't get absolutely swiped away on the counter as much because Paquetá's got the work rate and physicality. The problem is yellow cards. I'm not going to bring up the betting stuff. I'm just saying in general, forget the betting stuff. He's prone to a yellow card as well. So he's going to need to work on that just as much as Alvarez and Flynn Downs need to do. There's going to be times where Downs and Alvarez might line up together. There's going to be times where Souček will play, unfortunately. But for now, it'll probably be Areola, Soufal, Mavropanos, Kilman, Emerson, Alvarez, Ward-Prowse, Paquetá, Kudus, Bowen, Duran. Yeah, this is where we're always going to disagree. This is where we're always going to disagree. But yeah, as if the lineup, if the transfer window ends, then that's how we're going to probably line up. He can play as an 8. He just can't play as an 8 where Moyes was playing him. When Moyes playing him, there was no 8. It was a double 6-10 left wing. He couldn't play in that system. Souček is barely mobile to run back and forth. He's good at putting his body on the line and he's good at arriving in the box. But he can't always do both. Yes, he's good at covering ground at times. But the amount of mobility issues the guy has when he comes up against the number 10, and Maddison and Odegaard and Eze, etc., when we're in these games and there's midfielders running at him, he can't handle these players. Like a Chukwuemeka goal against Chelsea, Chukwuemeka goal for Chelsea against us is a prime example of that, where the guy just gets skinned by midfielders all the time. I've seen Odegaard literally try and receive the ball where Souček is so he can take him on and try and dictate play around him. I do think sometimes he can be a hindrance off the ball. I think Souček is a great impact sub, but I'm sorry, I can't do it with Souček. I would start because he played well as an 8-4 Southampton, bro. Like, I just think it's the certain system. Like, you know when you have a certain. Yes, I am mad. But with listen to me just for a sec. At Southampton, like, yes, he does cover the most distance. At times, he is good off the ball when it comes to covering distance. He can still cover distance without being fast enough to actually cover the distance because he's got a long stride. I know Ward-Prowse can't do that. Listen to me. Ward-Prowse did well for Ward-Prowse did well for Southampton with a ball-winning midfielder playing alongside him in the 4-4-2, playing as an 8. So with a 4-3-3, I still think he could do well doing the third man run, similar as how Dewsbury Hall will do it for Chelsea. Not defensively. No, he's not. He's not defensively. He did well with Oriol Romeu. That was not the last season. The reason it wasn't because they have James Ward-Prowse they got relegated, bro. Oriol Romeu left in that season, and Lavia was injured. Lavia was injured still in that side. Lavia was still injured. He did better with Oriol Romeu as the prime ball-winning midfielder playing alongside him. The reason why they got relegated was because the defenders that they had and the striker they had up front. They had Sekou Mara and Shea Adams as their strikers in the Premier League. Their defenders was Jack Stevens on line at Bournemouth. Jan Bednarek was there. Lianco. Bela Kotchap played at times, bro. No, that's what I'm not saying he's playing behind the ball. I'm saying like third man runs, that's what he's going to be made for. If we're still playing a pivot, I don't think either of them can play then. If we're still playing a sort of pivot where he's still coming to receive the ball and he's going to be still sitting back when we have the ball, then neither Ward-Prowse and Souček can do that. Then both of them are not good enough for the system. Because Souček can't play football. But how can he be doing well if they finish bottom? I'm not blaming the whole. I'm not blaming. I'm not leaving him blameless for that season. I'm saying the reason why they got relegated wasn't because of him. The league is the biggest stretch, yes, but I'm not saying he was blameless in that season. Of course, he wasn't his best that season at all. But when he played a 4-4-2 system under Hassanu, and also, by the way, if you forget, they had hired Nathan Jones and then Ruben Sellers afterwards with the amount of young players that they had. They hired Nathan Jones, a man who hated young players and refused to play Romeo Lavia because he said he wasn't good enough. A man who barely got Luton promoted. A man who, after he left, Luton got promoted with Rob Edwards, bro. They were a mess that season. I'm not saying Ward-Prowse can play in a pivot because he can't, but neither can Souček in mine. Well, he was the reason why. To be fair, the reason why he was their best player was because every other player was either young or Lavia was injured. Because if it wasn't Ward-Prowse, it was Lavia that was their best players. I would love to get Fofana and Matt O'Reilly. I would say goodbye to both. Do you know what? If this was a scenario, I'd probably do it. I'll be real. Because if he's still going to play behind the ball, then Ward-Prowse isn't good enough. But I'm saying he's good at making third man runs from deep. I know the league is the biggest judge. The league is the biggest judge, but he wasn't the sole reason for that relegation. The reason why they got relegated, young mess of defenders, young strikers. Their whole front three was young, apart from Stuart Armstrong. Adam Armstrong isn't good enough for the Premier League. They also had Ruben Sellers as manager and Nathan Jones as manager. Gavin Bazunu was making mistakes in goal. Bella Kotchap was injured for a little bit of the time where they were biggest hindrance in defence. They had no backbone in defence. They barely had a back four that they could vibe with. I'm telling you, bro. Honestly, like with Ward-Prowse, I've never ever judged him as I've never ever credited him off the ball. Because unless he's trying to win the ball high up the pitch, he isn't really good enough. But for him to win the ball high up the pitch, he has to play really advanced from the midfield positions. Or he plays in the 10. And if you play him in the 10, he's not creative enough for the 10. The problem is when the way Moyes signed him, he signed him specifically for set pieces and shoehorned him in. No, I'm not saying you did. I'm just trying to defend that. Why when they got relegated, it wasn't him. No, I never said you did. But I'm not putting the relegation like you said they got relegated. I was trying to defend him in terms of like that. I'd just start Souček over him. I wouldn't start either. If we're playing possession-based football, I'd start Paquetá, but I would probably start Ward-Prowse over Souček. That's probably where we're going to disagree. But that's the thing. I don't think Souček can't play this system, bro. You ain't got that ball terrier midfield. Roy Keane saying easy ball found. He's a 10. I disagree. He played well at 8 at Southampton. I said my point was we played 8 well at Southampton when Hassanu had that team. Funny enough, when they had Danny Ings, you know that lockdown season where they dipped off a bit, Ward-Prowse was still playing well from that 8 position. Not the season they got relegated. It was next to Oriol Romeu where he did well. That's why I'm putting a similar profile from Romeu to Edson Alvarez as well. But I don't think he's creative enough to play in the 10. He played when he originally came through the academy. I remember him playing on the right a lot, but I would never put him on the right. But I think he was specifically put on the right because of his obviously dead ball specialist and his ability to cross. Retrieving the ball was an issue. Yeah. Souček no good with the ball at his feet. No clever passes. Only good in the air and in the box. Yeah, he can't pass. I mean, he can ping a ball. He's very good at pinging it, but it's just the simple stuff as keeping play ticking. I don't think he can do it. Listen, Souček, I'm not going him as a person. Like Souček tries his best. Not a mercenary, gives his all, loves the club and all that. But none of those attributes that I gave you were on the ball. I don't think we could do way better than Ward-Prowse. We need an 8. We need an 8. If we're going to play an 8, we need an 8. And a presence behind the ball. Maybe is out. Alvarez isn't fit though. Yeah, I agree with you on that. By the way, I'm gonna have to end it here because I need to pretty much. I'm gonna eat in like 15 minutes. But this has been a great stream. Big up to everyone in the chat. Big up Deck. Big up Damien. Big up Scott. Big up George. I don't want to miss anyone out. Yeah, you guys are big up Wasim as well. You guys have been the main guys that have jumped into the stream. So thank you for watching once again. If there's more news tomorrow, there'll be another stream with this. An hour 45 is an hour 46 is the biggest, probably the longest stream I've done on my own. I'm not sure we're good enough to go 4-3-3 all season. I hear you because we need that third midfielder. Okay, brother, enjoyed the stream. Thank you. I agree with you, Damien. I agree with that. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, or share it to someone that isn't subscribed. If you are already subscribed. I might be on Lewis's channel later. I'm not too sure how that's going, but he's doing a watch along for France versus Spain. So regardless, go check out Carefree Lewis's channel for France versus Spain, or Strasbourg Steve's channel for France versus Spain. Because those are my guys, man, on YouTube. So big up, man. Thank you, George. Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Scott, as well. Big up to the deck. Big up to Wasim as well. All right, big up, everyone. Thank you. In a bit.